Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets, with another edition of your weekly marijuana market update. Now, again, before I get started, I want to make sure that after this video is over, you head over to moneyandmarkets.com, sign up for our free daily e-letter. From Sunday to Saturday, you get a free e-letter delivered straight to your inbox for free. It contains safe and profitable investment information from myself. You've got Green Zone Fortune's co-editor Charles Sizemore and our chief investment strategist Adam Odell. We work very hard with our team to give you the best information we can to help bolster your portfolio. So go to moneyandmarkets.com, sign up to get a safe and profitable investment information every day for free. Now, last week I asked for feedback on your cannabis investments. I ask for this all the time, so keep sending that. And let me know how your cannabis investments are doing. Are you following our Money and Markets Cannabis Watchlist? If so, how are you doing? I would love to hear more about your experience. You can do that by just emailing me at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. Now, today I'm digging into our YouTube comments and into that email to get to today's update. Shiloh M wrote on YouTube, do a video on high tide. Well, that's short and sweet to the point, and thank you for writing in, Shiloh. I appreciate that. I'm more than happy to analyze high tide trades over the counter. The ticker symbol is HITIF. It trades over the counter at current. I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in just a second. Now, this is a Canadian-based vertically integrated cannabis company. It specializes in distributing cannabis accessories and retailing cannabis products across Canada and other regions. Now, as of February of 2021, the company operates 70 Canna Cabana retail stores and has several brands under its banner. It's got the Canna Cabana brand, which is its flagship product. It's got Meta Cannabis, which is a retail network that's based on an education-first model. It works in partnership with Indigenous nations in Ontario, Alberta, and Manitoba in Canada. New Leaf Cannabis is a retail network for cannabis based in Alberta. Kush Bar is another education-based cannabis retail brand. Grass City is a popular online head shop and ships orders to the US, Canada, the UK, and the European Union. You have CBD City, which launched in May of 2020. It's the newest brand for High Tide. It's an online retailer of CBD products. Then you have Valiant Distribution, which is a North American manufacturer of premium cannabis accessories. It's got facilities in Las Vegas and in Calgary. Then you got Famous Brands, which is High Tide's in-house manufacturing division of licensed smoking accessories. Now, High Tide had a breakout year in 2018 in terms of total revenue. Company revenue went from about 8.5 million Canadian dollars, or about 6.7 million US dollars in 2018, to 30.9 million, or 24.4 million US dollars in 2019. And that growth isn't projected to slow down anytime soon. In fiscal 2020, the company brought in 83.3 million in total revenue. That's about 65.87 million in US dollars. That's about a triple-digit increase from fiscal 2019, about 123, 130. My math is maybe a little off there, but it is a big increase. And that revenue is expected to grow to around 212 million US dollars in 2022, which is a 43% increase over 2021 and a 3,000% jump from 2018. So as you can see, this is a massive growth in total revenue in just 3 years. Now, High Tide's net income suffered dips from 2018 to 2020. The company lost about 4.5 million Canadian dollars in 2018 and 26.3 million in 2019. However, it's expected to reverse that trend in 2021. Estimates are for gains of 10.3 million Canadian dollars to the positive in 2021 and 25.15 million Canadian dollars in 2022. Essentially, in terms of its finances, the next 2 years are projected to be very, very good for High Tide. On top of all that, the company recently announced it's converted nearly $20 million in debt into equity, which looks really, really good on the balance sheet. The stock price for High Tide has also been performing well, but really only since December of 2020. High Tide stock did drop during the coronavirus crash of March of 2020, but its rebound wasn't as profound as many other cannabis stocks. As you can see on the stock chart, the price nearly doubled from a low of 6 cents a share in March of 2020 to around 12 cents a share, but traded sideways into December. But it really took off in January and now sits at around 73 cents per share as I look today. I record this on Tuesday. That's a 1,116% jump from that March 2020 low. Now, the rise was heightened after the company announced its acquisition of e-commerce retailer Smoke Cartel. That acquisition opened the door to the U.S. market, specifically right now for CBD product sales. The $8 million acquisition included $6 million in High Tide shares and only $2 million in cash. So it's a pretty savvy acquisition there. When you don't have to spend all that much in cash, you can convert a little bit of that into shares. It gives High Tide two of the largest e-commerce platforms for smoke products in the world and opens a potential door to use the platform for cannabis distribution in the U.S. Of course, all that is pending federal legalization. Nothing's going to happen right now until Congress decides to federally legalize cannabis sales and allows for interstate sales across borders. When that happens, this e-commerce platform could really be a huge boom for High Tide. Another thing to note is that High Tide has investors in its operations from both Aurora Cannabis and Afria. So both of those companies are investing in High Tide. So that kind of speaks volumes into this company. And then, one other thing is the company actually does have a partnership with famous rapper Snoop Dogg for various products and accessories. So that's also a nice partnership to have under your belt. High Tide is looking to move from the over-the-counter market to list on the NASDAQ, which could also do wonders for this company. They filed in December for listing, and we'll find out in the coming weeks and months how that progresses. But putting themselves on the NASDAQ has the ability to just really add a lot of value to shareholders and increase that stock price. All in all, I really like what High Tide is doing right now. I like how they position themselves. I like how they've established a plan for the U.S. market with its e-commerce platforms, which could pay strong dividends to the company as well as to shareholders in the coming future. It's listing on the NASDAQ, also very strong. They met requirements to have a percentage of their sales in the U.S. They've got that taken care of, and I think that's going to do wonders for this stock moving forward. In fact, I like it so much, I'm actually going to add it today to the cannabis watch list on moneyandmarkets.com. I'm adding it right now. It is going to be on the list, and we'll join several others. I'm going to get to that update here in a second. The price has gone up for High Tide, but I don't think it's done yet. I think it's got more room to run. I think we can see more gains even as we approach potential federal legalization, and especially its listing on the NASDAQ. Now, speaking of the cannabis watch list, let's get into its performance so far, with the exception of High Tide, which I'm just adding today. We've experienced some pullback in the cannabis market over the last couple of weeks. A lot of that due to investor fear and transitioning out into higher yield bonds, but that yield is starting to pare back, and investors are starting to come back to the stock market and come back to cannabis stocks. All of our positions, however, have stayed in the positive despite the pullback and have actually moved up after Monday's solid market performance. So far, I held off making any recommendations of the watch list. I was trying to find the right opportunity and the right company to add. I had my eye on the market for quite some time, and then now I finally decided to pull the trigger and add High Tide to the cannabis watch list, rather. In terms of the watch list, we're still in a good place. We have average gains of about 46.3%. Of course, we saw better a few weeks ago. It was as high as 58%, but we've also been a lot lower. So we're in a good place right now with our watch list. As I check the performance of the watch list, I see one position has nearly 90% gain and two more that are more than 60% up since we put it on the watch list at their times. So overall, our list is doing well. Planet 13 Holdings recently saw a decrease in short interest of more than 54% as fund managers are starting to see the potential for growth in the stock price. Planet 13 is now up 19% since I placed on the watch list back in January. Scotts Miracle-Gro Fertilizer Company recently revised its earnings per share guidance to about $8.40 per share for the year. That pushed the stock price higher to start the week. SMG is up now nearly 33% since I added it to the watch list in September. GrowGeneration, it's a pure cannabis play, continues to be the best performer on our watch list. It's gained 87% since I added it in November. This was a triple-digit winner a couple weeks ago, and I think it's going to head back to that territory here soon. Turning Point Brands, in February, analysts with Cowen Incorporated raised their price target of TPB from $45 to $65. Analysts at B. Riley also increased their price target for the company from $59 to $63. Turning Point is now up 68% since I added it to the watch list in October. PerkinElmer, I continue to watch this stock as it declined recently. However, Optimum Investment Advisors, TFC Financial, and Simon Quick Advisors all raised their position in the company during the fourth quarter. PKI stock is up almost 9% since September. Then Schweitzer Mounted, this company started to take off after a strong Q4 performance and its earnings report. The company recently wrapped a $350 million term loan back to back the acquisition of Scapa Group PLC. That company offers first aid and personal care products. Schweitzer Maudet stock has now moved up 63% since September. That is probably one of our fastest movers of late, and really had there was no really negative impact in terms of the recent pullback in cannabis stocks we saw over the last couple of weeks. So congratulations on your gains, and if you followed the watch list, if you did, I want to hear about it. Tell me how you're doing. Email me at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com, or leave me a comment on our YouTube channel. That would be fine as well. And I read both. I try to respond. I can't really get to all of them. There's a lot. So, don't fret if I don't respond to you immediately. I try to as I can. Now, coming up this week, we'll have more on the Bull and the Bear podcast, as well as our Money Markets week ahead. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that. Check out moneyandmarkets.com each and every day for new content that provides safe and profitable investment information for you. Sign up for our free daily e-letter as well. Hit your inbox every morning for free, 7 days a week. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets, your host of the Bull and the Bear podcast and the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.